And we are on the air with the one and only Randy Rude from Kenosha, Wisconsin, bass player extraordinaire. What's up, my brother?
Hey, friend, how's it been going with you?
Good, man. We've been setting this up for quite a bit and I had to cancel and reschedule with you, but here we are.
Whatever works.
Yeah. Are you in K-Town right now?
Yeah, it's the same house I've been at for like over 20 years now.
Ah, nice, man. And you're still with your same partner, right? That you've been with since I met you.
Oh, I am.
Wow.
She's the hot chick in the center of the Bird album.
Ah, I'll have to look at that.
Yeah, that little center in there.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't recall, but I will have to do some investigative punk rock research. So, dude, what I met you when you were in 1096 through our ex-mate Dean Dirt. We had a lot of good times together over the years, played a lot of crazy gigs together, you and I. When did you and I meet? Do you recall? Wasn't like around late 80s, like mid 80s, 87, 88, 89?
I think more like 89, maybe even 90. I think my first time actually meeting you was at like a pre-party at the Peoria show at that church.
No.
It was us, you and Bert, and it got broke up. There was like 1,000 cops parked down the street. As far as the eye could see, that was, I think, the first time I actually met you.
Trippy, man. Yeah, we did a lot of shows where there was a lot of cops. Oh, man. What bands were you in? Were you in other bands pre-1096?
Yeah, I was mainly an Alter Ego. It was probably my main first band. I was
And
with
you know
Jeff
what?
Tart.
And you know what? I knew that. My memory, you know how that memory is kind of spotty when you get older? I
Right.
totally knew that, but I was like, I better ask Randy to verify what's his prehistory.
Yeah, it was Alter Ego and 1096, and then about 8,000 other bands that I've been in.
Well, and then today you're in Shitbag, and you're also, what about Bad Decisions? Is that a band you're still part of or no?
Yes, it is. Yeah, Bad Decisions is a band I actually play drums now too. So
Oh, that's right.
I had to get out there on the drums because it's like my new passion after 40 years on bass.
Yeah, dude. I remember you telling me like, geez, not too long ago over like Messenger or something. You're like, dude, I've taken up the drums, and then somebody else in your band told me, man, Randy's a great drummer. And I'm like, that's awesome, man.
It's just punk rock. It's not hard to be awesome in a punk rock band.
Da-dun.
I think that's what makes it, is the lack of ability, a lack of skill that makes a good punk rock band. It does, I think, to me anyway,
Well,
it's not all polished and perfect, for sure.
I get what you're saying, bro. Even like professional, like big name rock bands with drummers like Keith Moon are considered super unorthodox to some people, but to other people, he was like the best, even though he was completely manic and had no real method to his madness, but he was one of the best drummers on the earth.
Yeah, I'm just smacking stuff.
Knocking them out. Are you guys playing a lot of gigs? Are you guys playing out a lot?
Yeah, we're playing. It's a little slowing down now, but we've been playing pretty steadily for. Well, Bad Decisions has only been a band for like maybe 4 months, 5 months. So we played already a lot of shows, and then the Bag has been doing shows pretty solid for 2 years straight. Just banging them out. We're playing in actually pretty close to your hometown Saturday this week in Bloomington.
Oh, really?
Yeah, at the Unnormal Fest.
Okay, yeah. Another friend of mine's band is playing that too. I forget who that was. Somebody was telling me about that about a week ago.
Yeah, it looks like there's a lot of really cool bands on there. I'm looking forward to it for sure.
Is that like an all day and all night kind of thing?
It's like 2 days, I guess. It goes from like noon Saturday to 10 o'clock Sunday night.
That's awesome, man. That's cool. You guys got on that bill.
Yeah, man. We got a pretty good, it should be fun for real.
Are you guys doing any
bands that are coming down from Kenosha too? So it's not just us. It's 3-4 bands from Kenosha going to be on that. So it'll be something.
Who are some of the other Kenosha bands coming down?
Well, Anti-Everything is coming down, and then of course, Bad Decisions is on that one. And well, gonna put me on the spot on that one. I don't remember the other two.
Right on. I was going to ask you, man, about 1096 when you guys did the No Retreat album, which of course is one of my favorite punk rock records of all time. Do you have any memories of recording that album or anything that sticks out as far as memories?
Yeah, a few things really. It was like my first time in a real studio, so I was pretty nervous, and I broke a bass string, and they went and bought me bass strings, which I thought was weird, and then smoked weed with me. And we were there at the same time. Garbage was recording her first thing, and we were talking to her on the deck outside. You know how Smart Studios has a little deck upstairs, deck thing on top of the building, and that was she was doing some kind of shows for I can't like for protection of women, you know, women's rights and stuff like that.
Yeah, Shirley Manson.
Her and Dean was hitting it off pretty good.
Very cool, man. That's such a good record, bro. I mean, I've listened to it so many times in the past, just an hour ago, but it is so killer. I mean, the recording is awesome. But it captures the band's intensity in a lot of ways that some bands don't get captured on vinyl. You can totally hear the music, the angst. You can totally hear all Dean's classic sarcasm and his wit and a lot of the profound stuff he's known for have said. The album's really stands the test of time, and I say it's up there with my top 20 all-time favorite punk records ever.
Oh, that's amazing, man. Thanks. It was fun to do. We pretty much just ripped through the songs. Everything was done in one take, and we were out of there. You know, we didn't.
Wow.
Nobody wanted to do a second take. Dean came back later, and they helped with the mixing. And him and Joe came up and helped with the mixing. They told me to stay my ass home, so I was, ooh, sorry.
You know, too many cooks in the kitchen.
Right. No, I get it. I didn't know what the hell I was doing anyway. So
yeah. Same here, bro. I'm still in that same boat.
Aren't we all? Lifetime of learning. Still don't know nothing.
Hey, man, that's humble. How about speaking of learning, many of our constituents in the punk rock and rock and roll world have gone early in life because of drugs, alcohol, bad decisions, you know, habits. Where do you stand in that department at your age these days, brother?
We support Punk Rock Saves Lives. It's an organization that well, they come to punk shows and they hand out literature on how to keep safe and stay safe. If you have to use, you know, do it. There's safe ways to do it. They pass out Narcan. Everybody in my bands, they all carry Narcan on themselves and just keep focusing on making people feel good about themselves. So maybe we can just do a little dent that way instead of. You know me, I've lost a lot of friends to drugs. And,
Amen.
And I can't mess around with anything. I actually recently quit drinking beer, you know, drinking alcohol. Astel, our guitar player, also is a year sober, like last week. So it's a new approach because, you know, the younger kids don't drink these days. And I feel irresponsible wanting people to get more drunk so I get paid more at a club, you know, so.
Well, those are words of wisdom that you're talking about being the same, but in many ways being like a elder statesman of punk rock and having the age and the mileage. We do have a little bit of responsibility if you have any kind of consciousness about caring, compassion for others, for Christ's sake, So I think it's cool. I think it's cool that you're taking that path. Plus, as we get older, man, the wear and tear on the body is not like it used to be. So I congratulate you and Robbie from your band for your sobriety, man.
Thanks, man.
What kind of music you listen to most of the time, dude? Are you a big music listener guy? Or are you a TV guy? What do you do when you're sitting around and you want to just chill? Are you listening to music? What kind of stuff?
You know, honestly, I usually, if I'm just chilling, it's me and my honey. And I listen to whatever she's listening to. I really don't go out of my way. If I'm traveling and she asks me what I want to hear, it's just like the old punk rock mixtape pretty much from, early 80s. I'm sure you remember which one that is,
Oh
with
yeah.
the old schools with your DRI and all that, Descendants. And, um, I like Muse, if that's going to make anyone kind of chuckle. Deftones were a good band I liked a lot. I like some System of a Down, I guess. Always love Slayer. Slayer.
Nice. Do you have
But
any, sorry to cut you off. Do you have any favorite 1096 live show memories? I'm sure there's a ton, but do you have a couple that you could tell us about or anything that comes to mind about playing with 1096 live?
um, yeah, there's a show. I like the one that was at the Memorial Hall in Racine with a band called Wrath. And that was like early 90s, probably around 92, 93. Um, really huge place, capacity, everyone was there. It was completely packed. And we were having a really good set. And this guy came up on stage in between songs and he was bugging Mooney in the back. And we thought, he was just talking to Mooney. We just kept playing songs. And all of a sudden we hear the guy yelling at Mooney, "I'll better than you. I'll kick your butt." And all of a sudden me and Dean just rushed the guy, just, pummeled him on the stage, and he was laying on the stage. We kicked him off the stage. He rolled off, and Dean's like, "This next song," and we just ripped the rest of our set. So we finished our set. We get off the stage, and everyone's all hanging out, and they're all like, "Great time." And I look over, and there's cops sitting there. I guess they were doing security at the show, and they're like, "Oh yeah, man, that was a great show." And I'm like, "Where were you when this clown was up on stage messing with their drummer?" He goes, "We thought that was part of the show."
Hey, he probably did. 1096 is pretty intense, man.
Yeah, most of there was a lot of shows they paid us to leave. I think you were at one in Rockford. They paid us to leave. We played one song. Everyone just erupted the whole place. The PA was getting shook. Everything was going nuts. And then they cut off Dean's mic, and Dean mic almost looked like jumped off the stage. He was going to punch the dude in the face. And the promoter stopped it and all that. And he's like,
That's
"Okay, we'll turn you back on, but if it gets crazy like this, it's going to be done." So we go to play Pig's Law, and again, it just get all crazy and everything. They cut us right off, and Dean jumped off the stage and just shoved the speakers over onto the sound guy. And the promoter came up to us and gave us like $400 to leave.
Beloit, Wisconsin, wasn't it?
I think so, yeah. We got kicked out of 2 bars that night because we went to the bar next door to drink on the money we just made, and they kicked us out for swearing.
Dude, that story ended up in a book that came out all about the Rockford, Illinois punk scene, but it
Oh,
spills
really?
over into Beloit. Yeah, there's a whole it says that was like their darkest chapter of their punk scene was when we all played their 1096 and Bloody Mess. And there's a lot of crazy details that I couldn't tell on this channel or on the radio.
Just thinking of a story at that same show about me, you, and Dean out front, right in the entranceway, getting a picture of us taking us. We all dropped trowel, and there's like people walking right in front of us, and there's some like it looked like some important lady or something. She's like, "Oh my God!" Like, cops ended up coming to that one too.
Dude, we all ended up at some weird abandoned house at the end of the night after all that tripping. Remember that?
Yeah, and I put that Ivan guy through a wall that went into the kitchen and knocked the gas line off the stove. Remember, we all had to leave. We're waiting to like it was like up to your shin on the beer cans in the house. We're just wading through them, and I just remember laying on the floor with Dean and Joe, just laughing our butts off.
Mooney was the only person in that entire event that wasn't tripping. Imagine how much hell he was in.
Right?
Going, God, I thought I was mental.
That was some of the best times, man.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy, man. That was a good story to think about talking about. I think I heard that Dean actually picked up the PA board and threw it too.
Yeah, I know it got messy. But I was pretty much separated from him because he jumped down off the stage and then all of a sudden everyone's like swarmed behind him. So I was still stuck kind of on stage going, oh, what are we doing? Are we done?
Do you remember that show that happened right outside of Jeffrey Dahmer's old place? That Scumfest?
Oh, that one that was outside?
Yeah.
That one mental dude was a sledgehammer in that motorcycle in the center of the pit that dude scared me.
Yeah. Throwing TV sets out the windows of the like second, third floor house of the house.
Yeah, that was crazy too. That was nuts. That was before I was in the band. That was Bob New's last show.
Oh wow.
Yeah. I was in the band, but he wanted to play that last show before he departed.
I forgot about Bob. Yeah. Okay. That's right. I remember that now. That was crazy because that is another night that Dean picked up the PA board and threw it. Crazy.
Always wrecking stuff.
He was one of the most passionate and intense dudes ever. You guys had a pretty intense friendship. How would you define your friendship with the late Dean Dirt?
That was a little bit of love, a little bit of hate. You know how it is. Take people for what they are and go with it. We weren't like, best friends. I'm not going to ever say that, so it was fun being in a band with him. And he had his moments where he was a really cool dude. And then he had his moments when neither one of us were very cool dudes, for whatever reasons.
Well said. We were all doing a lot of partying back then too, bro. Whew.
Yeah, a lot of it I don't even remember. Little spots here and there. I'm like, oh, and then sometimes you just like kind of you're just sitting there and you just wince. Oh, what was that? Oh, nothing. It was like one of those old memories coming back to you.
I will, dude. I so appreciate. We could sit here all day and reminisce, and I'd like to do it actually. But yeah, it's cool talking about some old stuff. Do you guys have any new stuff coming out with your new bands? You're recording or anything you want to talk about?
Well, I have training some new people in the bag right now. So we're waiting to get them up to par, and then we're gonna probably put out a actual EP on a vinyl. And then Bad Decisions is just about to drop the demo. A collection of poor choices is what it's called.
Wow.
And it's all our worst songs in a row.
I love it, man. You definitely stay punk rock forever, my brother. And you definitely, like Dean used to say, do you look it or live it? Randy, you definitely live it, bro.
Life's a blank, brother.
Indeed it is, man. Thanks so much for coming on the Church of Rock radio show, bro. Long may you live, and I hope to see you in the spring, man.
Thanks for having me, and I appreciate you and love you, bro. Anytime. And if you ever come to Kenosha and you want a band, I'll help you build a band.
Wow, that's pretty cool. That's something I'll have to keep in mind. All right, bro. Well, I appreciate you, and I love you right back. Punk rock forever, and keep it real, my friend.
Take care.
Take care, bro. Randy Rude from 1096 Shite Bag, Bad Decisions, and on, and he's still doing it, man. Thanks for being here. Right now, it's 1096 from the No Retreat album. What song is this going to be? We'll tell you afterwards. You're at the Church of Rock and KSKQ. Cheers.